Hey guys, Future Gohan Straight 2 here. I was really bored, like really bored, and I just started looking at my Cartoon Network movies, and I just started talking to myself about a couple of the Cartoon Network movies, um, and I thought I'd like to share some of my ideas and or thoughts about a lot of them. Which are some of my favorites, what I think about some of them, etc., etc. Note, I do not, at the moment, I cannot think of a lot of the movies, but I can think of quite a few, and I'd like to discuss a couple of them. Well, let's start with this one, Billy and Mandy's Big Boogie Adventure. I'm gonna admit this one's not one of my favorites. To be completely and entirely honest, this one's not one of my favorites. It was a good movie, though. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not saying, oh well, this movie's terrible because it's not one of my favorites. No, this is a good movie. Like no joke, it's a good movie. Um, but other ones like Return of the Spider Queen, and a lot of the other Billy and Mandy movies, I liked Big Boogie Adventure better than what was that one? Where is it? The Christmas special. I liked it a lot better than the Billy and Mandy Christmas special, but I think my favorite's probably Wrath of the Spider Queen. I don't know why I liked that one. I think it was because they gave me some backstory on Grimm. But don't get me wrong, I did like this movie too. But I just didn't. It's not one of those movies that I'd like to rewatch. Wrath of the Spider Queen, for some reason, is a movie I'd actually like to rewatch. Um, the Samurai Jack movie doesn't count because it's technically just the first three episodes. I could discuss the Star Wars ones, but technically those ones don't count either because technically they're a movie, but on Cartoon Network they aired as episodes. So as you can tell, I'm kind of torn on that one. One I will talk about though is the Ed, Edd and Eddy Big Picture Show, and this is a bootleg that I made myself actually. Um, of the movie that I found because Cartoon Network. If Cartoon Network can't get a release, then by George, I'll make my own release. Um, and that it was a good movie, but if I didn't love Ed, Edd and Eddy as much as I did, as much as I do, then it wouldn't be one of my favorites. It is one of my favorites, but I don't know if it's one of Cartoon Network's best movies. It was a dang good movie, especially with a lot of the emotion and things that went on. But there are a lot of other really good Cartoon Network movies, and in my opinion, it goes way up there, way to the top. But with others, I don't think they would think so. In my opinion, it's one of my favorite Cartoon Network movies, and it could be one of the best, but I don't know. I think it definitely has what it takes to be one of the best, but I don't know. Um, Another one I want to talk about is one I actually don't have, is the Foster's House of Blue, I believe was the name of the pilot episode movie. Um, that one counts because that one was originally just a movie, I think, and then it got a TV show based off of it afterwards. Um, that one was a good. Okay, it's not one of my favorites. Do not get me wrong, though. It was an amazing movie. And once in a while, every now and again, I will go back. Like if it's on Cartoon Network, I'll watch it. I will watch it, and I will, to be completely honest, I'll enjoy it. I will enjoy it. But it's one of those movies, that I don't know. This series is so much better. I love Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. I do. It's one of my top favorite shows. I love all the Cartoon Network shows, but I think Foster's is one of my favorites. I think. See, I don't even know. But I love the show. And I did like the movie. But I just don't. But it's just not one of those movies that I'd watch again and again. It's one of those movies that I'll catch every now and again when it comes on, and I'll watch it. I'll rewatch it again when I get Foster's on DVD. And I'll rewatch it then. But it's not one of those movies that I'd grab the DVD and always want to watch. It was a good movie though. I loved Good Will Hunting. That that is another one of my top favorite Cartoon Network movies. Good Will Hunting. That was a great movie. I think it's one of Cartoon Network's best, in my opinion. Even though it's I don't know. It was a great movie. It was a great movie, but I don't know if it really has what it. I think it has what it takes, but you guys know what I mean. Like I don't think it was made to be one of the best, but it was a lot better. It was a really good movie. I loved it. And oh yeah, Dexter's Ego Trip. This is actually a really rare release. A really rare release. I have it on VHS, and that was a good movie. One of Cartoon Network's best, maybe, and that's a big maybe. This was an amazing movie, like, no joke. This was a really good movie. This was a really good movie. The first Dexter movie ever, and I believe this was the only Dexter movie ever. This was a good movie, like, no joke. I really did like this movie, but I don't know. I just don't think it has what it takes to be one of the best ones. It had like time travel and meeting Dexter's future lives, alternate universe lives, all this other stuff, and then all the Dexters formed together to fight an army of all the Mandarks. It was really cool. And back then, growing up, it was awesome. But I rewatched it like 2 years ago, I think, and I still remember most of it. For a movie, the animation seemed almost exactly the same as the TV series. And I know it's supposed to, and most of the other movies were as well, but a lot of them did get an upgrade. And that one seemed to remain mostly the same. And I'm not a graphic horror or anything. I'm just saying that I liked the movie, but I don't know if it's one of its best ones, in my opinion. It's one of my favorite, but I don't think it's one of the best ones that they've made. They've made tons. And again, if anyone has the opportunity to get this movie, I'd get this movie, and I'm telling you right now, you're gonna love it. You're gonna absolutely fall in love with that movie. But with all these other ones, you gotta kind of make some sacrifices. Dang, there's a lot of Cartoon Network movies. I think I'll just talk about one more. I think I'll talk about the Powerpuff Girls movie. I think this is my favorite. I think it is. Okay, first and foremost, I want to get rid of all of the bullcrap claims and everything that was based around this movie. Okay, we've got so many people claiming, oh, this movie's so boring, this movie's so, when I expected a movie about the Powerpuff Girls, I expected, to see them kicking butt and everything like that. Well, this is a prequel, ladies and gentlemen. This is a prequel. This shows the backstory of the Powerpuff Girls. This shows how the Powerpuff Girls became superheroes. This shows why they decided to start saving the city. This shows how they found out about most of their powers. This is how they found out how to control their powers, and it also teaches not to be deceived by just a stranger that you found, and which was Mojo Jojo, and they trusted him, and he ended up tricking them into building a machine. But a lot of people were like, "Oh man, this movie's boring," when that's what the movie was about. They listened to their fans. Throughout the entire series, they hinted about they poked at you. They hinted about the backstory of the Powerpuff Girls for a long time. They hinted at it, but we'd never actually fully seen it. And that's why they made the movie. And yes, for the three acts, for the first three acts of the movie, there was some extreme, almost the entire movie is backstory and character development. That's basically what that movie is. It builds it's supposed to build up to the series. That's what it's supposed to do. I agree that when you think of a Powerpuff Girls movie, you'd think about, if in 10 minutes, I can get a lot of entertainment out of just three little superhero girls kicking butt. Oh, I wonder how much entertainment I can get out of an hour. And so that's why a lot of people were disappointed with this movie. But it's still it wasn't made for, oh, let's just kick butt. No, it was made to tell the backstory. It was made to tell the story of these characters. It was made to tell the story of these storylines. The backstory. It's the character development. That's what the movie. And it's not to say that it doesn't have any action. The entire last act has the three Powerpuff Girls beating the utter crap out of the Mojo Jojo monkeys and everything like that. There was also some major complaints with this movie from a lot of idiotic soccer moms who were like, "Oh, we loved the series, but then I took my daughter to it, and wow, it was filled with violence and all this other stuff." And well, first off, the entire series of the Powerpuff Girls is based off of violence. If you don't believe me, watch Powerpuff Girls Bubble Vicious. In this episode, Bubbles literally rips off a horn of a monster, throws it back at the monster, and has it go through the back of its throat, causing blood to gush at the back of its throat. And you honestly are getting pissed off because there's violence in the PG-rated movie. Honestly. And they were literally making the claim, the Powerpuff Girls, they were just playing a game of tag, and they ended up ruining all of Townsville, and they didn't get, they weren't, what's the word? They weren't punished for it, because, if a little kid does something bad, they're supposed to be punished for it, etc., etc. Oh my God, there's just a lot of stupid there, because first off, that's one thing I hate about parenting, and one thing I'll never do, is complete and utter control of the children. That's one thing. And another thing, they actually did get punished. For those of you who don't remember, Professor Utonium, after they destroyed the city, Professor Utonium told them directly, and they said, "You girls are not allowed to fly or use any of your superpowers." I don't remember if it was for a time limit or something, like for a couple of months or something like that. I don't entirely recall, but I do remember that they did get punished. So where that claim that they didn't get punished is coming from, I have no idea. And a lot of people were really outraged by this movie. A lot of people were really outraged. They're like, "Oh, I took my daughter to this movie, and we couldn't stand it. We walked out of the movie theater, It was nothing like the series, and the series creator should be ashamed of himself for letting this garbage movie go out into the theaters." And they were like, "Oh, it's got too much violence." Okay, if you honestly think that a movie that was based around three superpowered little girls beating it, look at the opening. Look at the opening. Buttercup kicks him and has a tooth flying out. The show is about action. The show is about violence. And they're like, "Oh, the final act, they're kicking out a monkey's brain," everything like that. And there's been worse stuff in the show. Like I said earlier, Bubbles takes off the thing's horn and throws it back at it and causes it to go through the back of his throat. And again, the movie was rated PG. It's not going to be all sunshine and rainbows with a movie that's rated PG. Especially for a movie that was back in 2003. It's not like today where a PG means, the slightest thing possible. PG back then was a pretty big deal. And it was just slightly above G, but then again, a lot of movies were rated G back then. Especially children's movies. And this children's movie was rated PG. And the parents really should have paid attention to that. And to be honest, the Powerpuff Girls movie is one of my favorites, if not my complete favorite Cartoon Network movie. That's basically all I have to really say right now. So yeah, I really like a lot of the Cartoon Network movies. Like I said, I did like the Ed, Edd and Eddy one. I did like the Billy and Mandy and the other Billy and Mandy one. But I just really like the Powerpuff Girls movie. But until next time, I'll catch you guys later.